Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to episode 12, season 2 of the Prosperous Yogini podcast. So, before I dive into today's episode, I'd like to make a very, very special invitation to you. As you know, my business has shifted, and actually, really not quite true. I'm still very much doing all that I'm doing. What has actually happened is I have a new business. I have separated out the business mentoring and coaching work I do from the yoga teacher training. So if you still head over to amyyoga.com, you will see all of the amazing training courses, my foundation teacher training course, my yin yoga, restorative and human design teacher training course, my online training courses in yin pre, postnatal, toddler yoga, the CPD courses. It is all over there at amyyoga.com. But if you head over to amyjonesmentor.com, you will see all my business mentoring offers, including my in-person Ideas to Action Day, my new VIP business retreat day, my one-to-one services, the business of teaching yoga self-paced study course. It is all over there. So I'm still me. I'm still here supporting yoga teachers in their training and helping all female service-based entrepreneurs to do what lights them up and make money. They just happen to exist as two separate businesses. That's all it is. But it is the 1st of September, and I am using the month of September to officially launch my new business, amyjonesmentor.com. It is also my birthday month, and I love September. Like, September is my month. If you know Finny, if you dive back into some previous episodes, look up the one on human design, you get to meet Finny. He is a gorgeous soul, human design coach, and he has done my reading. And when he came back to me, he said, Amy, do you love the autumn? I was like, yeah, I love September. September is my month. And he's like, everything energetically happens to you in the autumn. You know, you must be supercharged in the autumn. I'm like, yes, I love autumn. I love the temperature. I get small, clean surfs. This is my birthday, and I'm going to be 46 this year. And it doesn't feel that long ago that I turned 40. And I won't lie, turning 46 feels like I am heading towards that milestone of 50, which I can't even wrap my head around. Like, I'm going to, in 4 years' time, be 50. And like so many women of my age, I am experiencing that transition that we call the perimenopausal stages of life. I'm trying my best to be optimistic and positive about, getting older as a gift. Transitioning into new stages of my life are all part of existing in this physical human form. But yeah, I have some really low moments. I have some really bad night's sleep. I've got a bit more belly fat than I would like right now. And I won't lie, HRT has made a huge difference to me in the last 12 months. So it does just feel, as I step into this sort of like next 5 years between 45 and 50, that I'm stepping into a not an improved, but a different, a new version of me, a transitioning version of me. And maybe that's where this new business has come from. Who knows? But to celebrate the official launch of my new business, I am running a free live training. This is the invitation. It is the top link in the show notes. Click on it, you'll see the energetics of selling. It is happening on Monday, the 16th of September at 8 p.m. British summertime. The energetics of selling, it's 1 hour, and I will show you how you can energetically get behind you as the product, as a service-based entrepreneur, and sell with ease. Okay. And it won't surprise you that the podcast over the next 3 weeks is all going to be focusing on selling. So I'd really love to see you there on the 16th. It is a free training, and then the same that week on the Friday, the Q&A, I call it a Q&A party. It's an opportunity to ask me a question about your business. The free live training has two purposes. It's a gift to you all to say, hey, I've got a new business. Hey, it's my favorite month, September. I'm turning 46. Thank you for supporting me. Here's how I'd like to support you further. And then I am opening the doors to my new online program, Energy, Mindset, Money and More, on my birthday, the 23rd of September. This program, like every time I look at the sales page, I'm like, I can't believe I've created it. But this program, like, to use my son's term, what a phrase, this program is sick. It is on fire. It, like, literally, I'm like, I can't believe I have created it. I would really obviously also love you to join me on that too, but more on that to come. For now, sign up for that free training. And as I said, the podcast focus over the next few weeks is all going to be about selling. So today's episode, we're going to focus on who buys from you. But before we get like into that topic, I just want to acknowledge, right? I am a female service-based entrepreneur. What does that mean? Okay, it means that I am, my business is generated from me selling my services, whether it's my services as a yoga teacher, as a yoga trainer, or my business mentoring. So if you're a Pilates teacher, a massage therapist, a coach, Reiki healer, a yoga teacher, these are all examples of services. Like hairdressers, service-based business. People, we can't separate ourselves from the product. We are the product in the business. So if I was selling, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see I'm wearing a blue jumper. If you're not watching on YouTube, I'm wearing a blue jumper. I think it's from White Stuff. I'm not receiving commission, okay? But if I was selling this jumper, I wouldn't feel like I'm selling myself. It's a product. I'm selling the jumper. It's a beautiful blue jumper, woolen, washes well, doesn't shrink in the wash. Ooh, that's the sort of thing I like from a blue jumper, a blue woolly jumper. I don't feel like it's tied up into my self-worth. There you go. That's if I say that out loud, I'm sure many of you go, yeah, I get what you're saying, Amy. Whereas when I come to selling, like I'm a yoga teacher and I'm like leveraging myself as a trusted expert, this is who I've trained with. This is how many years I've done. This is how long I've been a trainer. This is how long this training course has been going. And my business mentoring, this is how long I've been in business. This is how long I've been in education. These are the results that I get from my current clients. All of that stuff that we need to do in order to, invite new people in, let them feel that trust in making the energy exchange. It feels like we're selling ourselves. And when we feel like we're selling ourselves, it feels like, we have to, be energetically really behind how amazing we are. And yes, yes, you do, right? But I want to acknowledge, particularly as a woman who is on HRT and is nearly 46, I have some low days, guys. I have days where I'm like, I have no idea why people choose to work with me. It is difficult. And I think it is harder as a service-based entrepreneur to sell your product, aka your services, than if you have a product-based business. Although many of the sort of like, and if you're listening, you have a product-based business, like I can help you do. Many of the techniques of selling that I'm going to be talking about in the next 3 weeks actually relate to whatever you're selling. They're universal selling truths. Okay, so what I want to focus on today is who will buy from you. And this is why you need to put yourself out there, guys, because the people will buy from you are the people that know you, the people who energetically feel aligned. The free training is the energetics of selling. And this is what we need to wrap our head around, that selling is an energetic transaction. It's an emotional transaction. In that moment when someone purchases, they're in an emotional state. They're feeling energetically aligned and they're just going to take the action. Very often logic's gone out of the window. They don't really care, to be honest, about how many years you've been training for and how many free PDFs you're getting and how many live trainings there are and all of that stuff. Like the nitty-gritty of whatever it is you're selling in terms of your services or your products don't matter so much, other than them feeling energetically like it's a yes, it's a hell yes for me. I want to work with this person. I want to buy into this service, this class, whatever it is. So the people, and this is really important, can you get your pens out now and make a note, right? The people who will buy from you know you. More than that, okay? The people who buy from you, the majority of them are super hot fans, are hot leads. Now, I don't like this terminology, but just because it does work in this context, we are going to talk about hot, cold, and hot, warm, and cold leads. Now, when I talk about hot, warm, and cold leads, can I just say the reason why I don't like this is I'm talking about human beings, not leads. I'm talking about people that we are going to help with our guests, that we want to work with, and they want to work with us. Okay. Just for the purposes of this very moment in time in this podcast, I'm going to refer to them, these human beings, as leads. Okay, so I've just got to say that because every time I hear the word leads, I'm like, oh, it's a human being. But anyway, it matters. Hot, warm, and cold human beings leads matter, because what I think people don't understand a lot of the time is when they're selling, if they're selling to cold leads, if they're selling to a cold audience, aka if they're selling to a group of people who haven't met them before, that is a damn hard sell. And I think when we show up on social media, we often show up with that. I've got to grow my audience. I've got to find new people. I've got to acquire new clients. I hate that term, client acquisition. Like, we're not acquiring new clients, we're not acquiring new leads. We are energetically, it's like a magnet. I've talked about the magnet before. We are energetically putting our energy out there like a magnet, and then having a whole load of faith that that energy, that vibration will draw other people in. And it does come from our action. People are not going to feel our magnetic energy if we are not going out and talking to people on whatever those broadcast channels are. So your hot super fans, your hot leads are those people who have already worked with you, have already done something with you and loved it. They might be that person that comes to class every week. It might be that person that books that massage. It might be that person who, the minute you put a new event out or a new retreat, they're like, they book. They are your super hot fans, your hot leads. They are the most important people in your business. And they are the people that you want to be selling to the most, right? And when you're thinking about creating offers, I honestly would think about them. Okay, what can I do to help them more? What can I do to serve them more? How can we all hang out and have a great time? Yeah, because I love working with these people and I want to work with them more. Okay, selling to them is easy, right? Because they know you. You don't have to send them your CV. You don't have to refer them to your LinkedIn profile. You don't have to tell them who you've trained with and how many years you've been doing it. They don't care. They know you. They love you. They've enjoyed working with you before. They know you know them. And we're all going to continue to hang out. Okay. So sell to these guys first. Okay. And whenever you're creating new stuff, think about these people at the top of your list. Okay. Then if we go to the mid ground here, we have warm people. Okay, warm people, warm leads. Oh dear. Do you know what? I'm sorry, guys. Like, I definitely cannot do this business mentoring without the energy stuff as well. Can you tell? You know, the warm leads, okay, are people in your world who maybe have been following you on Instagram and they're quite engaged on your Instagram. They're watching your stories. They're liking, maybe commenting on your posts. They're on your email list. They're opening your emails. There hasn't been a energy transaction of money yet. Maybe they've done a free stuff, but they're lurking in your world. And I think what's really interesting about warm leads is we can look at the data. We can look at, like, how many views we've got on our stories and what's the open rate on our emails. But that still doesn't tell us how many are warm, how many are hovering over the contact now, the DM, the buy now, because they want to work with us. It never surprises me. Like I will often get a message, and what feels like it comes out of the blue. I've been wanting to do this for ages, Amy. I've been wanting to join your yin training for ages. I've been wanting to work with you for ages. And I'll be like, have you? I don't know who you are. Brilliant. Okay, fantastic. Yeah. And that you've got to have faith, so much faith that these warm leads are out there, right? And they are. And because I think when people can often feel like, I've got to grow my audience, I've not got enough people in my audience, so like there's not enough, right? That why I focus on expands, right? Whereas once if I flip that and just think there's a whole load of warm people in my world that are opening my emails, that are looking at my Instagram, watching my stories, and they are almost ready to say yes. So what can I do to nurture those warm leads? And this is where I think a small engaged Instagram following, a small engaged email list, WhatsApp can be so powerful, because there's so much power in personal outreach. In a world of, and I love a funnel and I love an email automation, right? Don't get me wrong, but in a world of email automation and email funnels, there's nothing more powerful than a voice note. There's nothing more powerful than a personal message. So you're like, oh, great, Amy's telling me to do cold DMs. No, I am not. No, I am not. I'm suggesting that you have a look through like your recent emails, your recent DMs, your recent WhatsApp messages, and have there been any conversations with people who haven't yet crossed the line in terms of buying into your services? And what could I do to reach back out to them to say, I'd really love to work with you. Here's my current availability, or this is coming up. Have you got any questions? Like just that little bit of extra nurture and that little bit of extra opportunity to see if we're energetically aligned. Like this is selling. And the reason why we often don't do that, because I'm actually telling you to do, is do some following up on inquiries, right? But often we don't do that because we assume if we give someone the information and they haven't responded, that they don't want it. Yet often we need a nudge, and you don't want to reach back out because selling is a bit icky and you don't want to be pushy. But you're not being pushy. They've got in contact with you. Or maybe it's even like I did a great poll on Instagram the other day about what people feel about selling, and interestingly 100% of people said they find it hard, right? And I think about 12 people voted. So I will DM those 12 people a direct link to the Energy of Selling masterclass, and to say, look, thank you for voting. You helped me. This is true. Like when we just sell from the heart and sell from a place of truth, it's not hard, guys. Right? The problem is we've been selling strategies, selling techniques, funnels, and all of this stuff. Starts to feel really, really hard, but this isn't hard. I'm going to reach out to those 12 people and say, look, I really thank you because you reassured me that I've picked the right topic for my free masterclass. Here's the link. I'd love to see you there. I'm taking these people that are warm into warmer leads, because hopefully they'll say yes and sign up. Then they get to come to the free training and they get to see me more in action. And they'll go, I love Amy. Oh, her new program, Energy, Mindset, Money and More, because it's an absolute no-brainer. I'm coming. It's not even like I can't afford it. Like if that doesn't come into the sort of like decision-making process now, because often people will say, oh, I can't afford this at the moment. And I think it's really interesting when people say, I can't afford it at the moment, right? They sit in two camps. They genuinely can't afford it, right? And I'm not here to push on my warm leads anything that they can't afford. Now, I don't want that, right? The podcast is free, my Substack is free. Like, hang out here and keep hanging out here, because very soon, if you keep hanging out here, take on my advice, you will be able to afford my paid offers, and then we'll be off, darling, right? But so this is the camp that genuinely can't afford it, and there's a camp that can find the money. They're finding the money for other things. Yeah, they're finding the money for other things. They'll go out for a meal and spend the cost of the monthly payment without thinking. That they're like going on a holiday, and I'm not saying you should not go on holiday, but there is the money there. It's just a lack of willingness to invest, which all that breaks my heart, because I know, having invested heavily in working with coaches and mentors, that it always means that my business grows, and then I can afford to go on as many holidays as I want. But anyway, so that's just to, when we get back that from our warm leads, no, I can't afford this at the moment. That's fine, but do remember to communicate return on investment. Like, okay, can't afford it. Well, there is a monthly payment plan, and nothing is guaranteed, but the end result of this investment, would result in this. And your health is your wealth if it's relating to a health offer. Okay, so we've got super hot fans. They're going to buy whatever we put out, make offers for them. Particularly like if you have a one-to-one services, I think I wouldn't be selling my one-to-one services to my cold. I wouldn't sell my one-to-one services to my cold leads. I would pop it in front of my warm leads. I would personally reach out to my hot leads for one-to-one. Okay, because the one-to-one offer is more expensive. They really know me, and they're more likely going to be ready to make that transaction to say yes to work with one-to-one. Plus, I know my super hot fans, and I want to work with them too. Okay, so your warm leads, can I nurture them a bit more? Personal nurturing. Can I talk to them a bit more, reach out and draw them in closer? And maybe it's with some free stuff to start with, and then that for some of them will turn into your paid offers, and for some of them they become super hot fans that are buying everything. And over time, guys, like when you look at I don't know who, whether it's me or a business guru, and you see these people just seem to be like, it's just happening for them. Like, how come it's just happening for them? Like, we all have someone that we probably look at and think, well, why they got that and I haven't, right? They've probably just been doing it longer for you. They probably just got a bigger pot of super hot fans and warm leads that are buying into their business. So then the last group of people are our cold leads, our cold human beings. Who are they? They are out in the cold. Oh, these poor guys. No, they are people that don't know us. And they come across our world, right? So that I don't know if you're watching on YouTube now. I just did something really dramatic with my hands. Sorry. They can come across us in several ways, and how they come across us may impact how they interact with us. So like they may fall across us on Instagram. The algorithm has blessed us and sent us them their way, and they've decided to follow us on Instagram. They maybe come from personal recommendations, so that actually often can mean they're cold, but they buy into something straight away. I had that the other day. I had someone reach out. They literally had followed me on Instagram that day. They then reached out and asked to join my Yin and Human Design and Restorative Yoga teacher training course. It come from a personal recommendation. And maybe they've signed up to one of our freebies and they come onto our mailing list. What you need to understand about the cold group, the cold to lukewarm people, the majority of them need time in our world before they're going to buy anything. That's like the industry standard. So like statistic is people need 7 to 14 touch points, contact points with you before they're ready to buy. Okay, and I think that's really important statistic, guys, because so often people put stuff out there and they're like, this ain't selling, it's crap. And I'm like, well, how many people have seen it and how many times have they seen it? It could just be a simple case of that is brilliant, but you need more super hot fans. You need to bring more people onto it to see it. And when they arrive in it, you need to nurture them a bit more. Okay. You need to take your cold people. We do want to reach out to people in the cold. It's not nice to be out in the cold. We want to bring them into our world. We've got to understand when they come into the world, they'll need a bit of nurturing, and then they're going to warm up. And that some of them then will turn into super hot fans that buy from us. One example is a funnel. Sorry to talk about funnels, but like you're at the top of the funnel, which is big, this is cold up here, and we're drawing people out from the cold into our warmer funnel, our nurturing warm funnel. And as they slip down the funnel and get warmer, one or two things happen, guys. They go, I don't want to be in this funnel. Get me out of here. I'm going to go back into the cold, right? You're not my person. Or they continue to go down the funnel, and at some point, and they might be 1 week, 2 weeks, 2 years, 6 years, you don't know how long they've been in your funnel. They might say, yes, I'd like to do this for you. Okay. But it all comes from putting yourself out there, selling, but having a thought about who you're selling to. Prioritize super hot. Call in your warm audience members more. Offer them a coat and a hot water bottle. And then don't forget to keep drawing in those cold people and offering to warm them up on an analogy, right? But this is how over time you will see more sales in your business. And the more you start to think about this over time, the easier it gets selling, because you've basically got more super hot fans, darling. What I see very, very frequently is people always talking to the cold people, thinking they need more in their audience. The reason why they're not selling is their audience ain't big enough. So they're always reaching out to the cold people, but they're reaching out to the cold people and selling, right? And they are not warm enough to buy. All right, my darlings. Well, I hope you found that useful. This is all the stuff that, in terms of the energy, mindset, money, and more program that we'll be diving into. Or if you'd like to come to either my Ideas to Action coaching workshop or my VIP business day down in Cornwall, they're happening in October. This is stuff we cover. I also work with a very small group of people one-to-one. My one-to-one program is full, but there is a wait list. You can add your name to that. Either way, we are going to get selling more, because selling is service. More people being blessed to work with you. All right, my darlings, I'll see you all next week.